Can you please take the roll?
Did somebody call the meeting to order?
Um, Mr. Stark will be chairman today, as of now. You gotta turn on your mic.
It's Mike Stark. I'll call this Public Property and Law Enforcement Committee meeting to order on Monday, September 30th at 3:00. Roll call, Mike Stark here.
Lauren Negro, Jerry Anderson,
Yeah, Jerry Anderson here.
James Schultz,
Here.
And Mr. McPhee resigned from the board, so.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion. to approve it.
microphones, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Jerry.
Is there a second?
Schultz for second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. Anybody online from the public? Nobody here from the public for public comment? Okay. Item 4, approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the June 24th meeting?
Schultz, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it. Jerry.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any comments? Any questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nobody opposed. Motion carries. Number 5, report updates. Review of quarterly financials.
We were not able to get those ready in time.
What?
We don't have the financials right now.
You don't have any. Okay. Item B, courthouse maintenance updates. David Dwyer.
Okay, construction's wrapped up finally, so that's a good thing. Now that that's wrapped up, I've realized that we've got some AC units that are pretty old and working hard and restaining the side of the building, so I'd like to get a couple new ones to replace those. You know, we did just spend all this money to have work done to the outside of the building and don't want to get all gross again, so that's something we should think about doing. The asphalt roof still needs to be addressed. If you're out on the road, you can see the shingles missing. That's something that's gonna have to get done here in the very near future, obviously not this year. We're out of time for that. We're in the works of trying to get the elevator updated and approved on that, so until that comes in, that'll be the next big project. As far as that, everything else has been going pretty smoothly. Just getting ready for a winter that we lacked of, last year. So we'll see how this one goes. Other than that, that's all I really got.
Good. Any questions? None. Okay, item C, Sheriff's Department report. Brian?
So as far as patrol information, this quarter, arrest 118. Year to date 301. This quarter citations 239, year to date 475. Complaints to investigate this quarter is 186. 596 for the year to date. And calls for service this quarter, 2,182, year to date, 5,797 calls. Would like me to move on to the jail report?
Jail population.
Yep. So jail population information this quarter, number of bookings, 141, year to date, 375. Daily average held in facility, 34. Year to date, 76. Daily average held on monitor this quarter, 6. Year to date, 15. Daily average boarded this quarter, 0. Year to date, 5. Total daily average this quarter, 45. Year to date, 92. far as the transportation. We have for mental health, 0, juvenile 0, warrants 9, so total is 9. Total of 4,914 miles, 230 hours. Again, boarded inmates 0. We've been doing pretty good with that, with staff wise. Avoiding the boarding out. Inmates on monitor 10. For this quarter by race, Native American 56. Which is 47%, Hispanic 3, 2%, African American 2, 1%, white 56, 47%.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, hearing none,
The MAP program.
Meta update.
So. We started that grant this spring or a little later, where, medication assisted treatment we were gonna do in the jail. It's reimbursable. So we have a full-time case manager that comes in there and assesses new inmates, whether or not they would need to, want this kind of treatment, counseling, therapy, whatever else. So anybody that comes in, they get assessed by this case manager that's employed through social services, but comes to our jail every day. Basically, right now, we don't have anybody on the program, but we average usually around 3 on the program. It's not a whole lot. It's their inmates that get assessed. It's up to them if they want to do the program by choice. So, and this will last, as far as this grant, about a year. Other news. We ended up having, we had our animal control officer, retired. We boarded with Callie Hyde. Well, she had retired and then we had somebody after that, didn't work out. So there was, because of the boarding, and then we had kind of a panic this past couple of weeks trying to figure out where we're gonna put animals. So we had started a conversation with the Humane Association, Schwamigan, between Bayfield County, City of Ashland, and Dan Grady and myself. We came up with a temporary solution of everybody pitching a little bit of money. Over the weekend, they had volunteers come and build in their garage there. They put it built boarding for all our animals. So now we can continue, as of today, is our last day of boarding with Callie Hyde. So we can continue boarding with them. For now, all the deputies in both counties and officers will take the animals themselves there until we can find an animal control officer. They might have found some for us anyways. So it's streamlined a lot better. I think it'll be that program for us. What they have, the guidelines they go by, they take care of all the vaccinations, quarantines and everything else. And I think it'll work out good. The only thing is we have to come up with a solution is long-term. They can't use that garage. They need more room. So I think between both counties, we're gonna start the conversation where that'll end up. We'll see. Couple of vacancies on patrol. We're just waiting for applicants. Like I said, we're doing pretty good in dispatch and jail, which is usually our main concern because we can't shut them down ever. Patrol, we can fill in less on management. We go on the streets too to help out, so we can make do, but we're still spread thin a little bit, but until we get some applicants in. Other than that, it's going very well.
That's it. Any questions? Huh? Pretty good. Okay, item F, emergency management report, Christina.
Hi there. My update hazard mitigation plan. I am in the final stages of working with Northwest Regional Planning. We had a public meeting that we held at the town of Morse, in Mellon on 9/17. 5 people attended. I advertised it in the Ashland Daily Press, the Mellon Paper, Facebook. We also put our draft plan in several different places, our library here in Ashland, the Mellon Library, and in the Sheriff's Department front desk area. So we held that. So pretty much we are just finishing up that ahead of schedule a little bit. The consolidated PSAP, I'm still part of the operations group. And I listen in on the IT work group that meets bi-monthly. A new director was hired, Jamie Moore. He's handling most of the policy updates and he has good ideas and he's making lots of positive changes. EPCRA and EMPG grants that I work under, I completed the pre-application for EPCRA, computer hazmat grant for 2024. It's been accepted and approved. So this is a $6,000 year. Generally, EM sees $2,000. Every 4 years, you get 6,000. So since it's a $6,000 year, the plans for the funding are the emergency alert notification system for Ashland County, which we haven't had since I believe 2010. They had one for 1 year called Code Red, and it didn't work out for our county. So I checked into 3 different ones, HyperReach, Code Red, and then the Genesis system. And ultimately decided to go with Genesis. Genesis is the system that Bayfield County already uses. And since our dispatches are combining, it makes sense to use their same system so our dispatchers don't have to try to do 2 different ones. So for this year, I'm paying for the startup through that $6,000 grant. So it's 4,000 and some odd dollars. And then the rest goes towards computer stuff that EM needs. We worked out a discount with them since we're joining Bayfield's plan. So it was over 10% off for joining their plan. And then they prorated us. So after this year, then the PSAP will take over the payment for it. So EM no longer has to pay for that. Outreach, I had a booth at Bay Days. I promoted Turn Around, Don't Drown. We showed videos and pictures from the floods from 16 and 18. We passed out flyers and we raffled off a weather radio. And we promoted, I had flyers that told about the Genesis emergency alert system that it'd be coming out in fall. So there was attachments on your handouts. I applied for and received 2 small grants totaling $3,500. And these funds were used to purchase 20 when flooded, turn around, don't drown signs. And also the posts and the bolts. And I worked with the highway department. He said if we had 20 signs, it would mark 10 different areas in the county that flood on the regular when we get big storms. So hopefully it'll be a reminder every year when we get the floods and the roads flood, there's always somebody that we have to rescue. So hopefully it'll just be an extra reminder that that area floods often. So those will be getting put up in the near future. And the money also, I purchased 10 preparedness backpacks that I filled with a bunch of items that families would need. So I brought one just so you guys can see it. This is the preparedness backpack. And I'm gonna raffle these off throughout when we do events, just so people can get them for their houses. There is a first aid kit, a cool lantern. This is a solar charger. You can charge your phone, a collapsible 5-gallon water plastic thing. There's emergency blankets in here. A weather radio that also is a regular radio. It has a light on it and it can be cranked on as well as battery operated. So those are the majority of what I have. I'm waiting for a couple things on back order. So through grants, I was able to get this stuff that we're gonna raffle off at different times so families could have it. If they're in a position where there's an emergency, they can grab it and go. So at this time, I only have 10 of them, but I'm also gonna use them when I talk do different talking engagements about preparedness, what people can think about. Do you have all these things when an emergency arises? So hopefully they will get on board and start buying their own type of stuff like this. So that's what I did with the grant money. There's a list there of all the trainings I attended, two of which were field exercises. I attended the Bad River oil spill tabletop and field exercise. I also attended the Sawyer County Emergency Shelter exercise. These are all, like real life, you get together and discuss what ifs, and then practice. I also just got back from the 3-day Wisconsin Emergency Management Association Conference. I've attended all of the Northwest Regional monthly meetings, which is a grant requirement, all the Fire Association meetings and EMS Council meetings. I assisted with the National Night Out. And as far as different grants and funding, I received an email from Senator Baldwin's office informing us that the requests, or they're requesting the full amount from the Senate Appropriations Committee. And from what I understand, this fall, they will be making the decision on who will be rewarded the funds. From the other counties that I talked to that have received it in the past, they hear in October. So hopefully it'll be the same for us this year. Other than that, I attached the turnaround, don't drown sign, what they're gonna look like, and then the emergency alert announcement. Any questions?
Very good. Any questions? No questions. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, item 6, space needs study. Is that,
All right, so we received 2 bids for a space needs study. As you remember, last year in the budget, we approved up to $50,000. So there were 2 bids here. One of them is a lot more expensive than the other. And they all have examples of what they do, of what they've done. I am recommending that we go with the cheaper option. So this one is about 67,000. And then Wold is the other one. And then again, sorry, I'm just trying to page to the our quote here.
Hmm.
Where is it? At the end, I think. This one is about 40, almost 40. 39,000. So I am recommending that we accept the Wold agreement and move it on to the county board for a formal.
no. Dan, who's on that core planning committee?
I'm sorry.
Who makes up the core planning committee?
What page are you on?
Uh,
Well, I'm sorry. What page are you on?
23?
Of the Wold?
Yeah. Are you not, which one are we going with?
Wold is the one I would
The
recommend.
Wolf, yeah, okay. The
Yeah.
page 23, it says, it shows the core planning committee and the county board.
Right. So it shows you all those arrows that go to the core planning committee. So
Yeah. Who is the core planning committee?
it's all the different departments.
Okay. All right,
So what happens is the architect goes around and talks to all the different departments, looks at all their different spaces and sees what they're, and recommends how we should,
and then okay,
yeah, what kind of space they need and what we get. And then they make the recommendation of the board who ultimately decide, do we do nothing? Do we buy a building? What kind of upgrades do we need to consider? And all that will come back in the final report. It would also end up including a security study, especially for this building here, to make sure that the courts are protected.
Okay. Anything else on this?
No, that's all I got.
Okay. You're moving right through this. Is there any, well, let's see, is there any other discussion by any of the committee members or any questions or?
Does somebody want to make a motion on which proposal to recommend?
Do you want a motion on, using Wold? Can you make that motion? Okay, I'll make the motion that we contract with Wold, WOLD, for the, space needs study. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Jerry.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Hearing none? There, you got it, Dan.
All right, thank you.
Anybody have any other, items that aren't on the agenda, questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I do have a question for the sheriff. that I
Okay.
Just thought of in the last few minutes. Am I allowed?
Sure.
Okay. I was at the Ashland Bayfield unit meeting. I think that was just last week and, listening to the, I think it was Mr. Moore there talking. And he said that Bayfield County has a different, wavelength system or tower system than Ashland County as far as this 911, merger or consolidation is, was I understanding that correct?
Yeah, so they use the frequency that most of the state goes through. It's called Wiscom. Basically you can talk anywhere in the state to anybody, if they give you that permission. It seems to work a lot better. Everybody likes it. The problem is we have to upgrade our towers to be able to do this. So Christina, the grant she was talking about, that federal grant appropriations one to the Senate. In October, we're supposed to learn if we got this grant. So Christina, mostly what a lot of us kind of pitched in when did we put that grant in? March. And basically we asked for, was it 3.2 million?
3.5.
Well, 3.5.
Okay.
So if we get this, we can upgrade all our towers and kind of rebuild all our infrastructure, make sure our towers are safe, upgrade them so we can use this Wiscom, be on the same frequency as Bayfield County.
Yeah.
It all depends the way they vote in the Senate, if we get it, but sounds like we have a good chance. But it will help us to get many things, not just the towers, but we can get an emergency management trailer for Christina for responses. Get each agency in the county, couple portables like fire departments and whatnot. And then we did it with keeping in mind the whole county, we upgrade them, including the city of Ashland, because they would have to upgrade as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of benefits everybody and it kind of puts us ahead on on this system where we probably would never be able to do for how much it would cost if we get this grant. So.
Yeah, I was just wondering if, it was in the works or,
Yep.
if there was any grants available and
Yep.
such. So yeah, good to hear.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
we should have an answer by next meeting, and like I said, I give a lot of credit to Christina. It was last minute, we found out about it, and she did most of the work on that, so with help from Bayfield County as well.
So this is actually a congressional directed appropriation. So we will not find out next month, as Congress passed a continuing resolution to fund the government only till December. So if Congress passes a full budget in December, or whether it's the individual appropriations bills or an omnibus, then it will be in there. So the money likely will not come until next year.
All right.
Which
And then-
that would probably be a good thing. We're so busy trying to make this dispatch thing happen. It kind of be nice to do one project at a time.
Yeah.
Not only that, we're starting off with a new database through this grant, kind of open For the dispatch thing, open up doors for other grants on us that we'd never be able to afford, like I said. It's getting us on the map of being modernized a little more. So once we get this done, that other grant comes in and we'll have to focus on that. And that'll probably be a lot of work as far as between everybody, all of us doing it, at the sheriff's office. And Bayford County, actually, they're already set up, so, the biggest help is them having knowledge of what we need to do and, get it set up with them.
Okay, any other? Yeah, I've got, what's the status of the Department of Revenue case with the town of La Pointe?
The Wisconsin Tax Commission decided did not have the authority to rule on it. So I believe the town has filed a suit in Ashland County against the Department of Revenue. I know Judge McKnight recused himself, so Judge Stella from Iron County will be handling the case. However, the Department of Revenue also filed in Dane County because even though the Department of Revenue won, they didn't like how they won, so. So I don't know whether this is gonna go forward in Action County or Dane County. That'll be up for the other judges to decide.
Then the other thing, schedule a next meeting. Can you talk to Laura, or I mean, can you figure out when to schedule it based on budget cycle and things? I mean,
It would be December.
when-
It would be December, if we stick with the last Monday of the month, it would be December 30th.
but does that-
So I don't know if you wanna do it
Wait,
earlier
Was
because,
there anything, I mean, as far as budget stuff, and does that come, do we get anything to review on budgets?
Finance Committee is not done with looking at the budget. They'll be looking at that on Wednesday.
Let's leave it open for now as to when.
Okay, we'll leave the next meeting date subject to the call of the chair. How's that? And everybody will get an email when she decides.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second by Schultz.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.